Why is the world in love again? Why are we marching hand in hand? Why are the ocean levels rising up? It's a brand new record for 1990. There might be Giants' brand new album, Flood.
It's Mazzy, and I have the best record collection on YouTube. And you can too, and I'm going to tell you how. Now, I totally ripped this concept off. So in reality, it's a response video. And it's a response video to the Metal Theologian. Aaron, the Metal Theologian, he is probably one of my top watch channels that I watch for entertainment in terms of music I know nothing about. Obviously, with Metal Theologian, his channel would be pretty much about metal, different subgenres of metal. I mean, there's too many friggin' subgenres these days. But what's great about Aaron, from my point of view, my taste, is that he's just someone it's great to hang out with. Now, I've never met him personally. I've been on some live streams with him, and we have a total opposite taste in music. I think there's maybe 2%, if that, not even that, of crossover taste. He likes to showcase these various non-alcoholic beverages, different flavors. This one looks like a Coke thing that's pretty generic, but a lot of times he'll do these really interesting flavors. Now, I think by me even shouting him out, I am going to put a link below. He probably is going to fucking hate this because I'm in a whole different camp of music. Again, he's in the metal music, and what's interesting about it, there's a certain chillness to hanging out with him for a 30-minute or so video that I really like. And again, I don't know anything that he's talking about at all. And of course, there are these sub-genres of metal that I've never heard of or never heard. I mean, you got symphonic metal, folk metal, metal, gothic metal, speed metal, avant-garde metal, post-metal, sludge, industrial, groove, technical death, death metal, black, thrash, new metal, metalcore, doom metal, power metal, progressive, grindcore, deathcore, glam, alternative, melodic, death metal. What about Cookie Monster voices? You know, that kind of stuff. Now, he's going to probably look at me as some old man, like mocking music of the youth. Well, he's only, what, 10 years, 15 years younger than me. And I don't mock it at all. In fact, I appreciate it. I just don't know anything about it. I mean, he digs up these bands like Central and South American grindcore bands, and black metal from Argentina, and doom metal from the Alpine Alps in Switzerland, and metal from Turlock, California. I mean, every little genre, and he comes up with these, he showcases these albums that they fascinate me. And I know if I was sitting in his room with his collection, pull things out, I would probably, there's probably maybe 50 records in his collection. I know he does occasionally get into jazz and avant-garde jazz, out there jazz. Sun Ra is a big favor of his, and that kind of stuff crosses over some of my taste as well. And of course the early things. But again, my metal, my generation, for me personally, it's like it starts with Blue Cheer. I know that's not even metal, and Helter Skelter. And then, of course, Led Zeppelin is not metal. Black Sabbath, yeah, okay. Saw Black Sabbath between their second and third album, I think. But I'm not a metal guy, and I admit it. And but the premise of this video that I'm going to link below on his channel is about, you know, I have the best collection on YouTube. I have the best collection in the world. And the bottom line is, to me, Aaron has curated his collection over the last 30 plus years or whatever. I've curated this collection 50 plus years. And this is the stuff that I enjoy. This is the stuff that I like to listen to. And I think you need to look into your soul, into yourself, into your musical taste. Now, that sounds so kumbaya, so like West Coast California thing, but there's truth to that. You know, you could listen to people like me and like Aaron and people on YouTube and record reviewers and writers and journalists, but just listen to the music, and whatever you like, don't ever get in the situation where you like something because it's hip, or you don't like something because it's not hip. And if you like something, I remember in high school, there's some stuff I liked that a lot of other kids in my high school liked, but there was some stuff that I was into that maybe wasn't cool or maybe not hip to get into. And I found with my collection, when I went through this period in the 70s of, being into country rock and singer-songwriter, and then even prog for a little while, and all the kind of genres into, and then punk hit. Thank goodness I didn't sell my Jesse Winchester or Graham Parsons or Emmylou Harris records, and I didn't sell my Beatle records, and I didn't sell my Simon and Garfunkel records, and I got into punk, and I really got tired of that overblown prog. I think prog was the musical genre that I really kind of pushed away because it just seemed so bloated, especially actually earlier than punk in '73, I think, when Tales of a Topographic Ocean came out. I think that's the biggest overblown piece of shit prog record that just, to me, single-handedly killed prog for me, for my taste, for my collection. I owned it for maybe a year or two, and then I kind of purged it eventually. So, punk 76, I go see the Ramones, and then, the Sex Pistols, I see them at Winterland, and that's like later in 78. I see The Clash, I see Dead Kennedys, I see Crime, I see X, I see, all these bands, The Damned, Devo, not punk, but the new wave Devo thing. Again, whenever I've done videos on punk and people say, that's not punk, Patti Smith, is that? Sure, Patti Smith. But there's crossover things, and I just like to put them in an over general category. I don't like to subgenre a genre. I think that is a ridiculous thing. I get we call prog progressive in the day. There weren't all these subgenres. And now, of course, in the last, 15, 20 years, you got shoegaze, and you got math rock, and college rock, and indie rock, and Americana, and alt country, and alt metal, and alta cocker, all that kind of stuff. You got all this like crazy subgenre shit, but be true to yourself and curate the collection based on what you like to listen to. And those of you who have watched me, I do this thing, It's the Music Stupid, and Aaron even gets in this thing about, if someone wants to buy a $150 audio file, it's not his thing. So, and he kind of gives a little dig at it, and I totally get that. I dip in occasionally, so I don't consider myself an audiophile, but occasionally I want something that sounds good, and I'll dip my toe into it. That works for me, but I bitch about more the physical thing. I bitched about the boxes and these overblown sets and things. And of course, recently with the Stones and Beatles and Dylan coming out with new stuff, come on, there's new bands, but there's a lot of great new music. And those of you who watch my channel know that I'm into a lot of new music. I mean, not everything. We all have, again, our tastes, what fits in my collection, what curates. And I haven't been in the situation, or I haven't really curated my collection where if I'm bringing 20 albums in, I have to get rid of 20 albums. I'm not there yet. Maybe I should be at my age, but I'm not there yet. I urge you to watch Aaron's thing. Again, it's kind of in a way, as into metal he is, sometimes he has the music in the background. It's not in your face. But it kind of piques an interest. It sets a mood, a tone to his presentations. And I love his presentations because, like this, I mean, they're a different style completely than what I do, but it's this kind of stream of consciousness things that you're going through. So it's not like we write these things out, A, B, C, D, and come with a conclusion at the end, because, that's not going to work for me. I guess that doesn't work for Aaron too. He just kind of jumps in and has a mood and has an idea to start with. And of course, that clickbait title is, I have the best record collection on YouTube, is I'm sure he's getting a lot more views because of that. But so be it. If people are interested in what you're saying there, if you want to put a clickbait thing in there, you want to do something to get people in there, if you can back it up with what you're talking about, with what you want to convey. And of course, there's going to be that guy there, especially that guy over there sitting right there in the audience that doesn't give a crap of what I say, and who's this fucker wearing a hat inside the house. And I get that. Then move on. You don't have to watch it. The great thing about YouTube, I mean, some people will put it down, all these people just, taking a record and showcasing a record, and, they don't give a shit about. But a lot of people want to learn something. They want to be turned on to something. And if they trust you, if you trust Aaron, Metal Theologian, and after a while you get to know his taste and what he's talking about, he can talk about some shit-ass cover with artists that have a certain type of haircut or mustache or sideburns, and you kind of dig what he's talking about, and you might want to check it out. And I hope I do, and the other people that do these vinyl community, chazarai on, and that's kind of a Yiddish term. It means a lot of junk, a lot of crap. On YouTube, you might be turned on to something. I just happened to pull these 10 inches. Look at this. Yoko Ono and John Zorn. I mean, I'm sure Aaron knows who John Zorn is. And my guess is Aaron would appreciate Yoko Ono, even if he doesn't have any or like her. And, and she's someone that people like to bash. I'm a big fan of Yoko Ono. I know she's the kind of music not for everyone. John Zorn's not for everyone. Sun Ra's not for everyone. Those metal Cookie Monster bands are not for everyone. But it's what you like. All that matters in record collecting is what you like and what you collect. And you might pick something up, once in a while. I mean, maybe a used record if the record's too expensive. A lot of new records are pretty pricey now because of the cover. Take a chance once in a while, and you'll fail a percentage of the time. But there's a handful of wonderful records I've purchased over the years based on the cover alone. Now, granted, when I was starting out, records weren't crazy prices like today. Of course, we made a lot less. We made $3, $3.50, $3.50 an hour, and a record cost $3.50, $4. So basically, you could work an hour. Now, I'm in Seattle here. Minimum wage is $15 an hour. Can you buy a record for $15? No, but you could work 2 hours and buy most records. Now, I know it's not that easy because housing and everything else and inflation is different, and it's a lot more complicated than that. If it was that multiplication thing of what a record costs then now, it'd be a lot easier, and everyone would be having nice apartments or decent apartments and, not paying over a lot of money for gas, all that kind of stuff that kind of gets in the way of the conversation. But it's a reality. It's a part of the conversation. I already can tell I'm rambling and going in these different directions. And I almost want Aaron's approval, but I'm not going to get it. And again, he's going to probably hate that I shine this light on his channel and this video. But I think it's an excellent video, and it's thought-provoking, and he's honest. He's always honest. Again, that's one of the things I like about the Metal Theologian. He just says his mind, good or bad, politically correct or not. And I think that's what rock and roll is all about. I mean, in my opinion, that's how it started out. And when everything is just, too safe. Of course, I like schmaltzy music, and that I consider that safe. I like singer-songwriter. I like James Taylor. Again, I'm just going in these different directions. So I don't want to go too long on this, but, keep true to yourself. Again, I am proud of my record collection, but I don't keep it as pride. I don't, what Aaron talked about is, I think his was a response to another metal player who was kind of dumping on people who just were showing off, buying records to show off, buying those $150 UHQR or one steps to show off, or buying the latest release or whatever the record is to show off. I think some of that obviously goes on. It's like anything. It doesn't have to be vinyl. It could be, Apple fanboys, computers. It could be car geeks. It could be, home renovation videos, all these kind of stuff. Who has the best plumber crack, when you're trying to fix your sink and that kind of stuff. But there is a bit of that. But I think if you have a good collection and you show the stuff you like, I mean, don't buy the fucking red and blue Beatle record just because it's the latest record. Now, I happen to be that generation. I collect all Beatles stuff, and I need to hear that. So I want to talk about that. So I'm not going to do a Beatles video just because it's popular right now. I'm not going to do a Bob Dylan video. I mean, I don't do Taylor Swift videos, the most popular artist on the planet right now. Not that I don't appreciate her, and I just don't know enough about her. I think I have one Taylor Swift record that someone gave me, and it's perfectly fine. It's just not what I'm into right now. And there's a lot of other music that I don't always showcase. And that's why when I do those, It's the Music Stupid, I try to pull things out that I'd say half the time aren't the obvious choices. And again, there's always someone out there who doesn't know these records. There's someone out there who doesn't know all this music. There's always the wanker that'll say, why don't you show something different, Mazzy? We already know about that. Well, you know about it. Don't speak for everyone. As I don't speak for everyone, you don't speak for everyone. Everyone doesn't know about that. Everyone hasn't heard Rain by the Beatles. Everyone hasn't heard Axamoxoa by the Grateful Dead. Axamoxa, the Palindrome album. I always get it right and I get it wrong. Axamoxoa by the Grateful Dead. Or Nick Drake's Pink Moon. It took Volkswagen for most people to hear it, except obviously some people in the UK and stuff. So, I think it's just be true to yourself. Instant karma's going to get you. I mean, this is kind of a cool thing, right? In 10 days, he had this concept. It's almost like perfect advertising. Lennon and Yoko were kind of ahead of their time here with this because he conceived, wrote, recorded, and had this mastered, pressed, and released in 10 days in 1970. And of course, that's common now. You basically record something and it's up, an hour later, 10 minutes, it's up a minute later. After you finish it all, you push the button, it uploads, and the record's up there. That was something at the time was very, very new. Instant karma is going to get you. It's going to knock you on your feet, off your feet, on your feet, If you talk about revolution, you can count me in, out, in, whatever that is. I mean, Lennon's someone that would just speak his mind in your face, turning a percentage of the people off at the time. Anyway, that's where I'm going with this. Again, the Metal Theologian, I think he says it a lot clearer than I'm saying it now. I'm sure I'm pontificating and going in a somewhat different direction, but I have the best fucking record collection on YouTube until the next person makes a video and that person, he or she, has a better record collection. But it's only better for him or her. Remember, this is the perfect collection for me. And that's all that matters to me. Mazzy loves you.